Hi, my name is Ash from J Cycles, and I'm here today with...
It's Neon from Specialized UK. I'm the product manager here, so I'm here to tell you about this thing.
Looking at it, it is now a completely new platform. Can you tell us a little bit about what's led to the point where we're at now and the changes that have been made from the old generation and now standalone the current?
Yeah, I mean, it's all new, like you said. It's the Generation 2 for the Levo SL. And when you get to see it in store, you will be amazed. I mean, the frame is new, the motor is new. Really, the only things that have stayed the same from the Generation 1 to Generation 2, if you were to really look at the detail, is the wiring system, the display, which we've taken off the full-powered Levo, and a bit of the battery and switchgear. Everything else, brand new.
Awesome. I really am liking to see the screen on the top tube of these bikes because we did get asked for that a lot in the past. It's great to see it on there now. So also just looking, I can see that we've now got adjustable headset cups. There's a flip chip out back for different wheel sizes. Could you tell us a little bit more about what's led to getting those on the bike?
Yeah, so there's three places where we can adjust the bike now. But if we roll back to how we got here, it's been a long development from way back actually with the current demo, through the Enduro, through the stump jumper and the evolution of the stump jumper range, to where we're at now with adjustable head tube, because we know people want to play around with that. On this bike we've also got an adjustable bottom bracket height, which we do through the flip chip in the shock, and the bike is coming as a mullet, which is new for this platform as well. But you can change it to a 29. So coming out of the box, 27.5, but if you want to ride it as a 29, you can do that. You just use that rear horse link flip chip. So turns it into obviously a slightly longer wheelbase, but the geometry will stay the same. As you flip the wheel size, you don't have to alter your head tube angle or alter your bottom bracket height. The rear flip chip does that for you.
Awesome. So one big key thing that I'm seeing that's different from the old generation, there is now no sidebar going down the frame. So we're well aware that Specialized has custom in-house RX tuning, so the suspension is designed to work with whatever bike it is being bolted to. It's not just straight out of the box, straight on the bike. Could you give us a bit more info on this new link?
Yeah, so we've got, like you said, new frame. New frame doesn't have that sidebar. A couple of reasons for that, really. We wanted to... in no particular order, we wanted to free up the rider's choice of shocks. Pretty much all the models are coming with a reservoir shock, so we need the clearance to do that. But we also want to be able to allow riders to put coil shocks on. There's a lot of choices there, there's different manufacturers. That sidearm can actually get in the way of some of those shocks, so that's taken out of the equation. And you'll notice as well that the linkage and the kinematics, which you can't look at, but you'll notice when you ride, is quite far advanced from the bike that it's replacing. So with all that, you're going to notice that the frame doesn't have the sidebar, but also that the linkage system is different, and yeah, you know, it makes a very different bike. It's also now an S-size bike. So the historical bike was a small, a medium, a large, and an extra-large t-shirt sizes. This is now falling into the line of S1, S2, S3, S4, S5, S6. So that in itself gives you a lot of changes in this platform.
Awesome, really good stuff to hear. So obviously this one behind us is the S-Works model. I'm looking down at the motor now. Could you give us a bit of info on this? I'm seeing some new SRAM dub cranks, some S-type cranks on there. I'm guessing it's moved away from Praxis, so yeah, what can you tell us about that?
Yeah, completely right. So superficially, you know, it does look pretty similar, but you know, you notice that the cranks are now SRAM, so different BB interface. But the motor is brand new. It's not like we've just taken the old motor and changed the BB axle. It's brand new. The old bike was a 3-piece housing. This is a 2-piece. This has got now 50 Newton meters of power. So seriously improved that power by 30+%, which you know translates to a lot more kick on the trail. Now, you can play around with that as you'd want to with mission control. You don't maybe want to ride it fully at 100%. And this bike also comes with the micro tune element. So if you, instead of going from, trail to turbo and trail to eco, you can just go up 10%, drop it down 10%, and that really gives you a lot more power, but a lot more usable power. You're playing around with that output quite a lot on the trail. And I think in particular, if you're riding with people that aren't on e-bikes, we always talk about how this bike relates to people on full power bikes, because there's more of those out there. But actually, if you're riding with people that aren't on e-bikes, you can really just drop it down 10%, rather than going from this, I'm riding in eco, oh, I'm in trail, and suddenly they're off the back. Whereas that little 10% increase, little 10% decrease really allows you to manage your energy output and stick with the people you want to talk to.
Yeah.
If you don't want to talk to them, that's when you put it in turbo.
Would you like to give us a little bit of a rundown through the spec on this bike? So I'm seeing a lot of new SRAM products on here. I'm seeing a lot of nice kit on there.
Yeah, this one is a bit fancy. The build of these bikes is way more trail focused than the old platform. You're going to get 36 forks on all these bikes. The bike's gone up in travel. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it's now a 160 front and a 150 back. Unless you're going for the S1, which we've just reduced the travel to keep things fitting for that rider. But essentially, all the bikes 160, 150, unless it's an S1, which is 150, 144. Mullets, as we said, but the build configuration, burlier forks, larger volume tyres, wider rims. So a lot here is really focusing on what we want to ride. We're not just trying to make the weight light, we're just trying to make it a really great bike to ride. And with that, on these new bikes, you're getting the whole T-Type SRAM group sets. Absolutely phenomenal at the high end. These things allow you to shift under power, and that is a real game changer for an e-bike rider. Rather than having to sort of lift off a little bit, change gear, hopefully the motor doesn't kick in as you change, suddenly you're able to hit that button, carry on pedaling, up a 45-degree angle, and just keep the power on. And the thing just does it. No crunches of gears, no gear fairies dying as you shift. You don't have to sort of hide your head in shame. You just keep powering. So the SRAM group set that you see on the S-Works, all models will run SRAM from the entry-level comp all the way through to S-Works, and where the new group set is applicable, we will be using that as well. Also, you'll notice when you're riding, you'll figure out straight away how that new cassette and chain sort of works together. You'll also notice that the bike is significantly quieter than the old bike, and that's back to that motor housing that we talked about, as well as the gearing on the inside of the motor. Those two things, those little fine details, have really got rid of that high-pitched noise that the existing SL has. Just dropped that noise down to sort of mid-level conversational tone. We talked about the electronics, we talked about the motor, we talked about all the things you'd expect on an e-bike. But the real game-changing element of this bike isn't the motor, it's not the battery, it's not the mission control, it's how the bike rides. Because it's got new geometry, it's got a new kinematics for the rear suspension, and the thing is a really different, way more playful, way more planted, way more capable than the bike it's replacing. So it really brings it back into the mix of what we see with our analog bikes like the Stump Jumper and Stump Jumper Evo, and actually a bit of the sort of guise of the Kenevo SL as well. Just more playful, rather than just being like a point and shoot and just let the bike roll down the hill, which is what you get with the long travel bikes. This bike is just a bit more nimble, and that's a lot to do with the kinematics, and obviously it being a mullet as well helps that.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a big advocate of trail bikes. It just keeps everything more entertaining. The bike gives you more back the more you feed into it, which is absolutely fantastic. But yeah, I think you guys have created something absolutely phenomenal here. I'm looking forward to getting one myself. It's going to happen.
We've all got itchy fingers. I just want to get it.
Awesome. Thank you for your time today.
Pleasure.
It's been a pleasure.
Cheers for coming down.
Thank you.